Have you sit across any boring business presentation? I'm sure you would have definitely figured out certain flaws in that presentation. Maybe it could have been very boring, it could have been very exhaustive, or it has been very uninspiring and too lengthy for you to sit across the whole presentation. Well, friends, we all make mistakes when we have to go on the stage and we are in the same situation. So knowingly or unknowingly, we do commit the similar kind of mistakes. In this video today, I'm going to tell you 9 mistakes that can kill your presentation. There are 9 very important pointers that if you do not pay attention to, will not help you to make an effective presentation. And as a professional, we all know that good presentation skills are essential and must if you are in sales, marketing, or in business development. Not only that, if you are giving your business review and if you are not able to give a proper presentation to impress upon your audience, which are generally your leadership team, you would not be able to sell across the point that you want to make, but also you are going to unimpress a lot of people in the room. In this video, I'm going to tell you which are those 9 mistakes that you do knowingly or you do unknowingly. And if you pay attention to them, you will be able to create a very effective, very precise and an inspiring presentation to your audience, which has to be simple, easy, crisp, and giving the right message that you want to give. So if you really want to learn those skills, stay with me and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share these thoughts on my channel with your friends, colleagues. And here we go. So the first mistake that people tend to make on the slides are they try to put a lot of text or information on the PowerPoint slide. Now, this PowerPoint slide has a space limitation, but a lot of people have a habit to put many things, including the complete document or the text or the numbers, information in one go itself. Now, what does it create? It creates confusion. It creates unnecessary loss of time when you are presenting it to a particular group. So the more you limit your information with precise bullet points, with precise words that can help you to convey your message, will make it more attractive. So giving too much information will not help you at all. The number 2, the wrong thing that people do is they start reading from the slides. I've seen it for ages. There are some people, they will just turn their back and they start reading the slides as if that people cannot read it. Please understand that you are here to give the analysis of that information that you have put in on the slides, not that you have to read it. So let's say if there are some sales numbers, if you're growing or if you're degrowing, if a graph is telling that, you need to just explain why it is so. What is your next action point? How you are going to take it forward from here? Or what is your learning out of this particular graph? Those are the bullet points. If you mention it and can explain it, it will become very easy for the audience to connect what you're saying. Because if you start reading on the slide, it will completely make your presentation very boring. And as I said, if you have too much of information on the slide, people will start reading from it and they don't look at you, and then they will not be able to focus on what you say and what is written on your slide. Bring facts, make it easy, readable with the right fonts, and convey those facts, what exactly you mean by them. This is what they are looking at in your presentation. The third most common mistake that people make is they use too much of animation. I don't know what they really want to prove, because if it is your business presentation, nobody has time that your arrow will come from the top and it will just go to the point that you want to make. So in any of the business presentation, you have to use very minimal, very minimalistic, maybe one kind of animation, that too with a speed of maybe 0.5 or 1 second, where you want to highlight certain bullets that should come one after another. So let's say you are talking about some 5 steps that you want to take to solve a particular problem. So step 1 should come, then step 2, and then those no more arrows should be now falling in one after another. And so the longer it takes time in your animation, your audience will become uneasy, they will become impatient, and it will not attract your entire thought process, because your speed of speaking and your animation will never match together. So that makes your presentation little boring and unexciting. The fourth mistake that a lot of people make is they are not too sure about what they have to say in the presentation. So they are not concise, they are not specific. They will go all around the topic, they will tell everything what happened in the past, what is going to happen, but they'll not tell you exactly what it takes. So what happens? That brings the mistake number 5. And the mistake number 5 is they take a lot of time to finish their presentation. So mind you that if there is an allocated time of, let's say, 20 or 25 minutes, if you finish the presentation before 25 minutes, nobody will say anything. But the moment you cross 26 minutes, people will feel uneasy. They will start looking at their watch, or they will start looking at you from a different look altogether. Nobody wants to sit for a longer period of time until they have questions and your presentation has been inspiring to them. So be very clear with respect to what exactly you want to say in very precise and simple thoughts. And number 2, stick to your time and jump to the next thought or the next slide that you have. If you respect these 2 areas, you will see that you will have more attraction towards your presentation and it will make it more inspiring for the audience. The 6th mistake that a lot of people make while making their presentation is failing to engage emotionally with their audience. Now you will see that they just try to finish the presentation and they just read verbatim what is written on the slide, and they just looks very blank when they are speaking. Now if you really want to make your presentation very inspiring, very engaging with the audience, you need to start thinking about why you are making this presentation, what is the purpose, or why you are making a particular point. Let's say for example that you want more resources, you want more funds to run your campaigns. You need to ask why. Now the moment you ask why, you will get one answer. Let's say because funds will help you to reach out to more customers with the message that you want to convey. Ask further why, and then you will keep getting an answer, and there will be a point when you will have no answer. That is the precise point that will give you a thought process. This is what I have to convey to my audience who are listening my presentation. So that will bring a lot of emotions. That will also your choice of images on the presentation that you put can convey that emotion to the audience, and that's how people connect over a good presentation to the audience, to the speaker, as well as to the presentation that a person made. The next, that is the 7th point, that people are not clear about their call to action. Now what is call to action means that for every presentation that you make, in the end there has to be a call to action. That means that what exactly you want to deliver, what exactly you want your audience to do, or what exactly, let's say they want to buy a product. Now in the end of the presentation, you have to have a call to action, that if you find this presentation useful to you, will you make the first purchase? Or can you take out your phone and write down my mobile number? So a lot of time when people do not have that kind of an engagement with the people, what happens? They just go verbatim, they close the presentation and they come back, and it doesn't result anything. When it doesn't result anything, people say that, I gave a very excellent presentation, but I don't know why I'm not getting results. So pay attention to the clarity about call to action, that what exactly you want your audience to do. So for example, every presentation that I finish on this YouTube video, I tell people to like, subscribe and share these thoughts on my channel with your friends and relatives or your colleagues too. That's how the call of action has to come out very clearly. The 8th point is that your presentation skills can only be developed, or the thing that people do wrong is they have no story to tell. If you have no story to tell, how will you connect your slides, your entire story that has happened from your slide 1 to, let's say, slide 10 or 20 or 30 that you have? So for that, you really need to have a story in mind while you are making your slides. Basis that story, first you talk about what is the situation, what is the challenges that you face, and finally what is the outcome that this story is going to deliver. Now once you're able to make those thoughts very clearly, you can convey it by bringing out your sense of emotions with your belief system, with your ideas that you want to convey. So make that entire sequence in the form of a story. And that brings the 9th point, which is very important: practicing and rehearsing before giving your final presentation. Now if you practice well, And if you rehearse your presentation very well, you will be able to understand very clearly that are you able to finish on time? Are you clear about the pointers that you have mentioned on your slides are aligned with your thought process? Is your story communicating to the audience that you want to make? What I do a lot of time that once I put all my slides, I create a storyline in my mind, I go through the presentation 2 or 3 times, and after that I bring somebody, maybe my wife or my kid or somebody else, and I try to take them through the entire piece of presentation. What it helps me is, one, that I'm able to connect to the entire story points that I've mentioned on the slides. Two, I become very clear about where I'm stucking, which are the slides where I'm not comfortable in my speech, where my confidence is low. So I practice that a lot, and the most important point that happens in the last is I'm able to watch the time that it is taking in bringing that point. So if you're able to bring these elements very clearly, these 9 very important wrong things that people do, if you're able to work on them, you will be able to create a very high impactful, engaging and exciting presentation to your audience, whether you are selling a product, whether you are giving a review presentation to your management team. Anything of that sort will bring a lot of attraction. In my next video, I'll be also sharing with you that what are the components that you should put with examples on the PowerPoint slides that makes your presentation more engaging, more attractive to the audience. So if you have liked the thoughts, if you have really understood some pieces of it, do like, share and subscribe this channel and share it. That's my call of action to you. So do that and stay connected. I'll be coming back soon on this channel of Coaching with AD. Thanks a lot.